Hello, Matt. Welcome to my show, Point to Point with Shiv Vadlamudi.
I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. And this is the first time I'm talking to a Hollywood actor in my show. So I feel very happy and honored.
Appreciate it.
So let's start with your movies. And of course, you're a Hollywood actor, so I would like to understand and help my viewers understand a little bit of background about your movies, about yourself, and stuff like that. Let's start from there.
Absolutely.
And I do see a poster here. We'll get to this poster also.
I'm excited about talking about Didymus. So thank you. Thank you. Well, for me, acting has always been something that I loved. I've always loved movies. Growing up as a kid, played more sports than did movies and theater at the time. But after high school, I really just got into acting and have never really looked back. It was just something that took me, and I just have loved it ever since.
Okay. Where are you from, though, man?
Originally, I'm from Michigan. And I started off in Chicago, moved around a lot. I've lived in Los Angeles, lived in Texas, Louisiana. I've lived all over the United States and have had the wonderful opportunity of working all over the states here. And it's been great. But originally from Michigan.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So from like cold place to hot place.
Exactly. Right? Cold place to hot place. Exactly.
My brother lives in Michigan. Okay. I never liked that place. But yeah,
and I understand. I think I fantasized too much about the winter. I mean, I don't think I could go back and do one.
There you go. Yeah. By the way, I mean, you look like really, young, and you just said, growing up, you played and then you did movies and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to be curious. Out of curiosity, how old are you?
I am. I'm that old, exactly. You're gonna bleep that out, right?
Okay. Wonderful. Now you look pretty good.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. So thank you. That was a fun question. Anyway, so what made you go into the movies?
Really, growing up as a kid and watching what was happening on the inside of that TV. My grandmother was with us a lot. Growing up, and we used to watch Bill Kennedy at the movies, which was out of Detroit. And he used to play all the classic movies, and I just loved it. We used to watch him every day, and it was just something I look forward to. And I was just enamored by the worlds that I was able to see. And I didn't know how to get into it at that time.
Into movies,
yes, exactly. I had no idea. No one in my family is in the entertainment business. It just really wasn't something that was prevalent within my community in Michigan. So I just didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know what to do with that love of being in the movies, that passion. And then I did a play in high school, and one play in my senior year, and I absolutely loved it, and I was hooked. And I went to Chicago. I started in Chicago, started studying acting.
So you did go to an acting school?
I did, I did. I did,
and that was in Chicago.
Yes, and it's a great place to start. It was a great place for me to start. It was a big city, far enough away from home to where I got the benefits of living in a big city. It's a great theater city. So many people come from Chicago, and it was just a great training ground for myself.
Okay, so what was your first movie break? What did you get? Which movie did you get?
My first movie break actually was with a gentleman out of Chicago called, his name is Ed McDougall. He did Christian films. And that was my first lead role in the movie. And I knew at that moment, God was calling me to be in this business, because I knew that's how we could reach the world. I mean, it was such a powerful medium. At that point, we were sort of talking to ourselves. It wasn't the same industry as it is today with the movies that are reaching worldwide. But I just knew that Ed was doing a great thing, and I was honored to be part of that.
When was this?
Well, that was in the early 90s. In fact, it's called The First Stone. And and I played a pastor's son, and I was troubled, and I was part of the youth group, and I just had a lot of troubles, and sort of rebelled against my dad, who was the pastor of the church. And throughout the movie, the janitor, who was my mentor, led me to Christ and led me to be redemptive in what I was doing. So it was just a great opportunity.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Yeah. So that was your more first Christian movie you stepped into the world.
It really was. It was my first faith-based movie, and it was the first time I had ever heard anything but a faith-based movie.
Oh, okay.
And it was just a great opportunity. And like I said, I knew at that point that was the moment that this is what I wanted to do for the rest of my life.
Wonderful. So after that,
that was a slow burn from that, because in Chicago, when I started doing a lot of extra work just to get on set, just to be around, the big boys and watch them hang the lights and be around the big actors. I just wanted to figure that out. So even with that first movie, I was still trying to figure things out. I was still so new at the craft that I just needed to continue getting on sets and being there. Right after that, it was sort of a lull because of that. And then I went into, I did a play in Chicago, and then I started writing my own stuff, and which was great because I had a friend that I was in a play with there, and we wrote a movie together. And when we actually ended up producing it together and we acted in it, it was a great opportunity. It taught me so much about the business, and it just opened my eyes to what is possible, because at that point in time, there wasn't many outlets for the film. So it really didn't go anywhere, which was okay looking back, because I got so much experience. And then I moved down to Texas. I got married, moved down to Texas. My wife is from the South, so we moved down here.
You don't have many options.
Right? And then I had just kept studying here in Dallas. And eventually I got an opportunity to work with a great company on a film that really opened up a lot of doors for me. That was the moment that the opportunity and the preparation came together. And it was called Final Recourse. It was with Terry Polo, Chaz Palminteri. I played Terry's husband, and it was just a great opportunity. It really opened up a lot of doors for me. And then from there, I went to Los Angeles. I took that, jumped to Los Angeles, started working right away, and I've been really pretty steady working ever since.
So while we are growing up, right? We always, of course, from India, the movies are the big thing, right? So while we are growing up, we actually watch one actor and take him as a role model, and then we try to build our life around it.
Sure.
Who was your role model?
Well, back in the day, it was Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, James Dean, guys like that I just looked up to. In fact, when I was still working in Chicago, catering, trying to make a living, trying to make ends meet, De Niro was in town shooting a movie, and I got to cater their wrap party. And didn't get the chance to talk to him, but he was standing next to me, like you and I are sitting next to each other, and it was just awesome. And we sort of acknowledged each other, and but it was great. But guys like that, when you look at those guys coming up in New York, and those films in the 70s, Serpico, The Deer Hunter, movies like that, it just, man, that's what storytelling is like. And I love good stories, and that's my passion.
Wonderful. So thanks for walking us through your journey.
Absolutely.
And this is focusing, and this is hitting on my head because of the way it is painted and all.
Right.
So it looks like I have to get to that, and I'm getting more and more curious. The movie name Didymus, right? And looks like you have a main lead character in that.
They were nice enough to put me on there.
Right? Yeah. This guy looks a lot younger than you.
Yeah. Well,
not that you look any old here. So tell us about what Didymus is. What is the meaning of that word Didymus?
Well, Didymus actually means twins, and the story follows Thomas, Doubting Thomas, and my son Jake in the movie. Their lives are paralleling each other, and Jake is dealing with anger, loss. He's dealing with doubting his faith. He lost his mom at a young age, and my wife in the movie, Avery, and I adopted him and brought him into our family. Avery and Jake's mom are best friends, and we brought him into our family. And he just didn't feel like he fit in. at some points, and we loved him dearly. I mean, we didn't do anything but love on him and bring him in. So their stories really of faith and their journeys, they definitely parallel each
So it
other.
says untold story of Jesus' disciple.
Thomas. Yep.
Thomas is the
absolutely Thomas.
Okay.
And I didn't know much about Thomas prior to doing the movie, other than what would be generally out there about him doubting Thomas. All of that. But once I found out that he journeyed to India and started the churches, and then he sacrificed everything to go there, I found him very fascinating. I was very interested in it.
So how did you even get into this movie, Matt?
Just like, isn't any opportunity, I get a call from my agent. They say they're doing a wide casting for this movie, and it was called Didymus at the time. And character breakdown came through from Mark, which is my character. And I just put some stuff on tape, and there's some
The
scenes.
reason I'm asking is you started off with a faith movie, and then you're again back in this faith movie.
Exactly.
Is there, is that the genre you're choosing, or people are looking for? What happened? How did you again got into this movie? It's like,
well, of course, I love to do faith-based films. I mean, anything to support that. I mean, but I'm just really into good stories. It doesn't necessarily have to be faith-based, but there's got to be some redemption. There's got to be some, conflict in there as well. And I love good stories, and this was a great story. And when I initially read for the role, I submitted it, and I really didn't think anything was going to happen from it. Hadn't heard. I think it was maybe 3 or 4 weeks, and then I get a call and said they want to cast you, and I was like, "That's awesome!" I was like, "Thank you."
God is calling you again.
Yeah. So it worked out, and the whole cast was tremendous. I mean, Danielle, who plays Avery, she was amazing to work with. She's out of New York, I believe, right now. I think they're in New York, and she just brought so much to the role. She was so easy to work with. I mean, she brought her A game every day, and she did not let me off the hook. Not that I didn't, but she was always like pushing and, seeing what maybe we could do different. And I got that from her. Then I was pushing back saying, what can we do different and heighten this? And it was just a great working relationship. And Christian, who plays Jake, he was excellent as well. I mean, he gave it everything he had every day.
Okay. So I do see some, executive producer. Who are these guys here, though? Sigmala and Vijay Kiran.
Well, Venu, he wrote the story.
Oh, okay.
And okay.
This is what I was looking at. Story, screenplay, and written by Venu Sigmala.
Yep. He wrote it, and I remember starting the film, and I remember sitting out on a back porch with him, and him telling me his passion about the film and why he wrote it, and I just related so much to it. He put so much into this film, and it's such a great story. So
this is the first movie you did with him, or
it is the first movie? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was smooth as silk. He said his writing was a little more, I guess, between the Indian and English. There's some difference in how we speak to each other. So he said, I wrote it in as a in that manner. And he said, but you can take it in English. He said, you can change it up. Just, make sure it translates across the board.
It should have been a totally different experience from all the movies you did so far, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. It was the whole cast. I mean, and VJ, Dolly, who's Venu's wife, she was tremendous. She was always on set, always so supportive. Cisco, our cinematographer,
okay.
He was A game. He's out of Los Angeles, and he brought his crew with him. They drove cross country to be here with us, and he brought it every single day. I mean, that guy's got an eye.
So where was this shot? I mean, in US, like different locations.
We shot specifically in Salina, Texas.
Oh,
yep.
Here.
Yeah, here.
Oh, okay.
And Venu did actually go over to India and shot some of the film there, and that's some of the stuff with about Thomas.
Okay.
And so, but that was prior to us shooting here in the States.
I will get that information from Venu.
Yeah.
But over here, so everything was shot here in Salina?
Yeah. Pretty much, and I think we went to just north by Sherman, Sherman Denison. I think we shot there at a hospital. Or that doubled for a hospital. But most of my stuff was down here in Salina.
Oh, okay. Yeah. When is this being released, though?
Right now, I believe when I was talking to Venu, I think we are looking at around Easter. Yeah,
okay.
I think
April,
I think
2025.
Yeah, April in 2025. So,
okay.
Excited for it to come out. I mean, he's done a good work.
So these will be released in the theaters here in the entire United States and in India.
Honestly, I hope so. I'm not exactly definitely for sure what they're going to do with that, but I hope it reaches as many people as it can. So,
wonderful.
Yeah,
very good. So while doing the movie, so are there any action elements into this movie, or it's just
character based
and paid related? Is there any?
There's some action involved in it. There's some football scenes which are action oriented. There's something I'm not going to mention because it's sort of the twist in the film.
Okay.
But there's some. But it's basically just a good story about a character story about a family that's struggling together, and they pull together, and in the end they win.
And was there any movie around this one, around this Didymus, or this is the first ever movie made with this story?
I would imagine at some point in time there was something made about Thomas. I'm not too sure about, but I know that this one is for Venu. I believe this is his second movie that he's done. I believe this is the first one that he's gotten produced as a writer, and I'm sure he'll be doing some more after this one for sure.
Oh, wonderful. So do you have any other movies lined up after this movie?
I do. Being in this industry, you always are looking for work, so to speak, and waiting for that phone to ring, but you have to be proactive. So I've been writing for a long time. I've got a script that looks like we're going to produce it in the spring of 2025. It's based on a true story that happened in my hometown. So we're looking to get that produced. And I've got a couple other films coming out. Right after I did Didymus, I had about a week or two break, and then I went to West Texas and shot a film, and that should be coming out I believe just after the first of the year. So January, February of 2025.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Very good. So was there a, like a scene which you were like really awestruck in this movie?
Say that again.
Was there a scene? Was there a clip which made you awestruck?
Well, for me during the filming of that, it was really the family stuff that stuck with me because being a father and having kids myself, I know those struggles, and it's not for the faint of heart. You know what I mean? But it's in the end, it's worth every tear, every sleepless night. And so just the family stuff really hit me hard because he did such a good job of covering that and bringing that to life. And so any number of the family scenes is great.
Anything else you would want to share about this movie with our viewers?
Well, I hope everybody goes to see it. Honestly, look for it in April of 2025 and look for Venu to be doing a lot more and look for anything that I've got going on in 2025 as well. And reach out on any of my socials. If you want to post that, you can do that. And you can have people hit me up, DM me, ask me questions. Like my Instagram is Matt Socia, all one word, MATTSOCIA. Mm-hmm. So you can post that on there. And that's a good way to get a hold of me.
Well, thank you very much. Thanks for talking with us.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Wish you good luck.
Thank you.